start streaming.
Fun side profile. I'm just trying to experiment with different kinds of side profiles and just how like much I can stretch proportions and stuff. It's fun. I just happened to open TikTok. Oh, that's funny.
Goes. Our
What a
Hangout and
coincidence.
Randomness. Okay, perfect. We're live on YouTube.
Awesome.
How was your day? Our day's pretty good.
Yeah, our day is good.
This is going to be a relatively random stream. We're going to do some tutorials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to do a little bit of studying on Pinterest, so pardon me ignoring you. Maybe a little bit.
Kitty.
Maybe just a little bit ignored.
That's cute. Hey, Pompoof. Hey, Lexi.
Hello, Pompoof.
So feel free to ask some questions, and we'll see what we can cover today. Or we can just hang out and chat. You know, whatever. Whatever's good.
Sparkle Kitty, hello. Lexi, Ginny, Tira, Dahlia. I can update the server.
Do it. I need to study hairlines more. I feel like hairlines... I saw this one post about hairlines and they were like, oh, don't do this. And I'm like, oh, I do that. Instead, they're like, oh, instead the hairline is actually shaped more like an M. Like this. And I'm like, boy, that's kind of complicated. No wonder I always do this one. But yeah, it's actually true. I even look at my own hairline. I'm like, oh wait, I can actually see that M right here. So I think it's interesting. Tips for hands. Sure, we can do some hands. Ooh, your birthday's tomorrow. Nice,
awesome.
Dahlia.
Happy birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Poses, maybe today?
We could do some
poses. We could do that. We actually have a video on our channel
hands.
that
Yeah, we do.
talks about poses quite a lot.
Sure. We have poses. We got hands. Sure. So many birthdays this month. Yeah, September birthday is actually pretty common, I heard. So, let's do some hands. Then we'll do poses, because kind of hands and poses kind of go hand in hand, but not really. I mean, in a way they do. I feel like poses can or hands can really enhance poses, but we'll talk about hands first. So I think anytime you are drawing hands, I even like to start with a head like this, because we got to have something to we want to have like a hand doing something with our drawing, right? So it's not just, oh, how to draw a random hand pose with no purpose. So we have to have a purpose with hands, right?
Hands are one of the biggest parts of storytelling. So it's like, if it's just like a hand, a lot of the time it won't look very good. Yeah,
because it's like, okay, well, what is it doing? Tips on keeping your art style consistent. We'll talk about that. Consistent art style.
We can talk about that. Hello, how was y'all's day? It was good. Good day.
Art style.
Okay. Super productive day. Awesome, Dahlia.
Nice. So, like, for instance, we can have a lot of different kinds of hand poses for this lady, right? You know, she could be checking her nails. Like, so she's like, you know, doing this. So that automatically narrows down your chances, or not chances, just narrows down your options for specific hand poses, right? So like, okay, she's looking at her nails. Well, okay, how do girls check their nails? They go kind of like this at a tilt, right? So just look at what shape the hand is making, and if, you know, since I'm looking at her from this angle, and if she's using her right hand, the pinky side will be showing. Or maybe she's looking at a pocket watch. Either way, you know, it doesn't really matter. So what I like to do for this kind of angle is I'll start off with the side view, which I'll start off with the easiest part, which is the pinky side, and then I'll start overlapping the certain fingers. So like maybe I'll overlap this finger, and maybe this finger as well. So 1, 2, 3. I think it's like this. I might end up making a broken looking hand, but whatever. And so things are you're just trying to focus on your overlaps and make sure your proportions are decent. And then we'll do one more hand like that. Finger. Yeah, sorry. One more finger. And then another finger like this. How do boys
check their nails?
I don't know. They bite their nails. I'm kidding. And so now you got a hand that has storytelling. Now she's doing something. Right?
Probably like this. I would think like this.
Yeah.
Like that.
I don't know. Do guys check their nails? Maybe they go like. I don't know.
I think they just get like their pocket knife out and scrape the dirt from under their fingernails. That's what I do.
I go like this.
That's what most of my friends do.
I go like this and I start digging inside my nails with my other nails.
You're like.
I'll go like that, or I'll go like this.
Or Ultra Rare Thursday stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, there's a lot of truth to that sort of thing. If you want to be expressive in your character posing and in your design, think about it, right? Don't be afraid to be a little bit cliche. Don't be afraid to have people overact, right? You could be like,
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to really have the hands overacting, right? Like you can go.
Yeah. And you can even make different versions of hands. So like here's one version. Well, what about another one where she's like, ugh, peasant, and she's like dropping her handkerchief on something.
What if she has her palm open and there's a little person standing there?
Oh, sure.
Like this is you and this is me.
Yep. So now I'm like, okay, how do I want her to hold the person? I want her to be holding it like this. Obviously, it's kind of hard to show it like that, but something like this.
Yeah.
Something like that. But obviously, pinky side because it's the her right hand. It'd be starting the same way.
How do I find my art style? There's a couple different ways. You could decide what you want it to be and practice it, or you could let it emerge completely naturally based on just drawing whatever you feel like drawing and completely ignoring your art style in its entirety. You will develop an art style either way. Your art style from the great Will Weston, your style will develop naturally based on what you choose to draw and who you study under or who you study.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's really that simple. If you want to develop an art style, work for it.
Yeah.
Work towards a specific art style, or you can just let it emerge naturally based on what you tend to like drawing. If you like color, you're going to probably have a more colorful art style. If you like, black and white, you're probably going to develop an art style that's more black and white. If you like heavy, thick line work, you're probably going to develop a style with heavy, thick line work, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Digital brush. You can get this brush for free on our website, drawanime.com. It is the green button that literally says digital brush. So you can download that on a different tab because you can't do it on TikTok. And just make sure that it supports a Photoshop brush file. So, yeah.
You know when you drop your kneaded eraser on the ground and you have cats. Now I've got a hairy kneaded eraser.
Yep. How to draw male jaws. Actually, I was just doing some drawings of side profiles, and I just figured out something. Male jaws. If you're doing like side profiles or just any kind of thing in general, this is your cranium. You can do a circle or you can make it a little bit more oval. It doesn't really matter. If you divide this in half, somewhere around the halfway point, here's the back of your head. Here's the start of your jaw. Now, this will also determine the length of your chin. So you can have a chin that is this long. If you make it too long, that's not going to look very natural. So avoid that. If you make it shorter, they got a very short chin for a child. So actually the cranium, just the size of the cranium doesn't really change that much. It's the length of your chin that changes.
Yeah. Well, in proportion to it.
Obviously,
exactly. Your head is small when you're a little baby.
Yes, and that's what I mean.
Proportionally speaking.
Proportionally speaking, yes. Like you can have a side view. You can have, I'll do 3 different kinds. So you can have this, and this, and pretend they're all the same size.
Some teachers are so bad. Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I hope it's not
I
us,
think
though.
the bad teachers are generally the ones who don't like teaching very much, but they do it anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't want to criticize anybody who goes out there and tries to help others, even if I may not agree with everything that they say.
Mm-hmm.
If they're out there trying to help other people, then who am I to judge?
Mm-hmm. He has a very short chin. Here's a longer chin, which is generally for male jaws. And please don't connect your jaw like this. Where's the mandible gonna come out from? Right? If we do you have a skull with you?
I mean, I got this
sure,
guy, and I've got this.
I think the skull's probably easier to
guy,
see what's
a sorrow head.
Yeah, sorrow's great. So
there you go.
Look at this jawline, right? There's a little piece that comes down, just kind of straight down like that. It doesn't connect like a straight line like this. It's kind of like a diagonal L shape. You know, same thing here. Look at that mandible, right? It's that L shape right in here, and it's this part. So keep in mind, this comes down a bit, then connects to your chin, like that. So that's like a male jaw. And when you draw this in like a 3/4 view, for example, you're kind of doing the same thing. Here's the back of your head.
Tiny, diny hot dog. What is that? Thank you, Maisie.
Oh.
There was a lady, a family. What are they exactly? Like people that lived next door. They had a little
neighbors.
Doggy named Maisie.
It was so cute.
She
was very sweet. I would say that's one of the few dogs that I actually do really enjoy and like. She was a mix between a poodle and a Shih Tzu. Yeah, so it's super cute. So yeah, it's the same concept right here.
Palm poop, thank you for the tiny dice.
Oh, thank you. So one thing about jaws is that it's not like going sideways like this. People mistaken the jaw going sideways, but it actually goes in like a box. So keep that in mind. That's the jaw going back.
Can we talk about character design for OCs?
Ooh.
We could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Character design for OCs.
It's a bit of a broad topic.
It is a very broad topic. OC design. What kind of character do you want to make is the thing, because that's part of it, right? So if there's male jaws, and then we'll do like a feminine jaw, which is just a little bit shorter, or just not as angular. Right, so the ratio from chin to the cranium in relationship to the chin stays the same. It's just you just change the chin size.
How is everybody doing today?
Yeah, how's everyone doing?
Having a good day? Enjoying life?
What are we learning today?
Just whatever happens to come up, really.
Yep.
Good, that's awesome. How do I handle features like eyes at angled perspective? We actually have a YouTube video on that.
We do.
All about that. You can check out our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy, and the video is called like how to draw eyes or eyes in any perspective or something.
But how to draw both eyes at any angle. Let me go and pull it up. Videos.
You can show that if you want.
There we go. How to draw both eyes at any angle. That is the video.
There it is.
Actually, probably one of our more popular videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually went up in views, 42,000 now.
A lot of people interested in that subject.
Mm-hmm.
Just came out of an anatomy class, had to take an exam. Are you in the like medical field? That's awesome.
Do you have a male?
Hope you did well.
I don't have a male anatomy video, but I do have a how to draw bodies video. If you hate drawing figures, use this method. And I talk about both the male and female body and how to structure that. In a 3-step process.
Yeah.
So you can check that out as well if you want. Could you do the Madoka Magic Art? I don't think we do that. We don't do like style studies. Maybe we'll do one someday, but
at some point. Although I did do a breakdown of like a Genshin style a long time ago.
Yeah. I never get the parallels right in the cubes.
Are you drawing like isometric cubes?
I would say.
Or like 2-point? You mean like the verticals?
Like, decide where you want to go. You want to go this way? Okay, then just...
Where can I find your brushes? There's just one brush. You can get it for free. It's on our website, drawanime.com.
Right here.
There you go, right
button.
there. Digital brush, drawanime.com. You can also get it in our Discord server. If you type ! brush in any channel.
Just how you would decide some things like hair, clothes, accessories especially. Is it all on personality and the world they're in? Yeah, I would say if you're going to create a character and you want to decide those things, it would be based on like, are they in the modern world? What class? Like, what are they, like rich or poor or middle class? Research and stuff.
I never got a drink.
No, you didn't.
My diet, Dr. Kelp.
Dr. Kelp?
It's from SpongeBob.
Oh.
It's the Krusty Krab pizza
Oh.
episode.
Yeah. So we actually did cover a little bit on hands. A lot of it is just the purpose of your hands. Like, you're not going to just draw a random hand out of nowhere. It's harder that way when you have no purpose. I would say if you have a character, I would say one of the fun challenges is draw a character in a certain expression, like, maybe they're curious about something. So, like, now you're thinking, okay, well, what kind of hand poses would fit this character? You know, should we have it like this, where it's a very generic pose, where they're like, doing this? You know, that feels pretty good. Should they do you want them to cross their arms? You know, that's another kind of specific hand pose.
Yeah.
Right.
Faces and hands are the most expressive parts of the body.
Yeah.
And hands, actually, funny enough, have the ability to basically invert the expression that the face is making. Like, you could do an angry face, but if he has a thumbs up, it inverts the meaning of the expression. It's really interesting.
You know, maybe you have one hand like this. He's like, like that too. So there's a lot of options. I feel like people get overwhelmed with hands because there's just so many kinds of hand poses, and they don't know really what to do and how to draw it. So I feel like this, like, drawing expression and just drawing different ideas narrows it down, in my opinion. Where can I find your brushes? You on the website. I think, did you already ask that already?
Yep.
Okay.
I answered that.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's cover something else. I guess the OC design will be interesting. So I'm doing a post-apocalyptic kind of world, and I'm struggling with accessories. It's mostly mutated people, and they have a small village with multiple biomes, access to handmade things. So I would say maybe you're thinking too broad. Like, I would say if you have you have a post-apocalyptic world. Apocalyptic. You know, is their fashion more like tribal? You know, maybe is it like a tribe of mutated people? What kind of tribe is it? Is it based off of like an African tribe? Is it based off of like a Native American tribe? Whatever tribe that you want. Is their fashion based on, you know, is it handmade, like scraps?
Where are they? Like,
where? Yeah.
Are they in a city? Is it an apocalypse that is in, like, the wasteland of a city? Like, what resources do they have access to? Do machines still work?
Yeah.
Are they using scrap parts from cars? Right. Look at Fallout. I think they do a really good job. It'll be like, oh, a super mutant is like large. Like, maybe they use a car door as a shield, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe they're using a lamppost as like a weapon, right?
Yeah.
Like, kind of break it down into what resources do these characters have access to? Do they care if their things are kind of just thrown together? What is their, like, are they eating well? Do they have access to food? Like, think in terms of like the hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah. Like, what's their culture?
Like, seriously, hierarchy of needs.
I'll put that in. Hierarchy.
Do they have food? Do they have shelter? Do they have emotional support mutated pets? Right? Like, how well are they surviving, or are they thriving? If they're thriving, they probably have time to decorate. They probably have options of multiple types of clothing. Maybe they've got beads, and right, like, and it depends on the story world. Like, if it's a real, like, think of like Cormac McCarthy's The Road, right? Like, that's gonna be way different than a sci-fi Fallout style post-apocalyptic world. Mm-hmm. Like, gritty and dark with like an entertainment twist where things are fun and cool and silly, or something that's really gritty in terms of like very practical, very realistic. That's gonna really, like, that would be under the spec. So if you're designing characters, if you're designing props, if you're designing worlds, like back when I was working on games as a concept artist, sometimes they'd have like 50-page long PDFs of like style guides and worlds. Like, these were really developed worlds. I'm not saying you have to make like a 50-page long PDF, but just think of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, I would say maybe you're thinking too much on like, well, they're mutated. Okay, but that doesn't really.
How are they mutated?
How are they mutated?
What are the like, is it a mutation like you'd find in Dead Space? Or is it a mutation like you would find in, you know, Fallout? Is it a mutation is it like a plant-based mutation? Is it a like, what is the design language? What's the shape language? What is the mutation inspired by? Is it like a Resident Evil games, Resident Evil movies?
Yeah.
There's so many different directions, and those are the decisions. And someone says, what type of apocalypse it was? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it a meteorite that hit? Was it nuclear war? Was it a The Last of Us or something, right?
Yeah.
Is it like there's so many different things, and these are the decisions. These are like decisions that need to be made that will define the world, that will make things look like what they look like.
And if it's still in progress, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where you make decisions, because like if you look at like kind of animals usually minor unless they're no longer human mutated to monsters. Well, I feel like that can be an aspect of it, but I also think like, you know, what's their culture, what's their beauty standards, you know?
Mutation, like animals, usually minor. So yeah, I mean, I would study like comparative anatomy. Maybe take like a comparative anatomy class.
Yeah.
Where you are, I would recommend like maybe taking some animal anatomy classes from someone like maybe Tara Whitlatch. Is it fantasy? Is it lighthearted? Is it dark and gritty? All of these things will change the vibe, and then just do a bunch of exploration and try a bunch of things.
Yeah. And if you're like more concerned about accessories, then that would be like what do you want the culture of your character to be like? You know, do they like a lot of piercings? Do they really value certain types of objects? So, you know, yeah.
You could even base a
Do they
cultural
like tattoos.
You could even base a culture around a particular thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe like something that they worship as a god or whatever.
Yeah. Like, yeah. You know, maybe they use bones as decoration.
And a lot of this can be done through just exploring in drawings. Like you'll kind of feel it out, and you could draw a lot and find different inspiration and just kind of explore it. See what you like, see what comes out and what you enjoy. But this is it's kind of a very common world building exercise. You just kind of make these decisions and figure it out as time goes on and explore and try stuff.
Yep.
It honestly brings me back. It really brings me back.
Like a deer mutated woman who's maybe like a very who's about to get married. I'm just making stuff up.
But she doesn't like him.
But she doesn't like
She
him.
actually likes the wolf boy.
Yeah. The predator and the prey, kind of the dynamic forbidden love. You gotta love that. And you know, maybe this is like a ceremonial outfit, so maybe they collected a bunch of like scrap, you know, beads, like dirty beads, or like maybe they really like, I don't know, teeth and skull and bones. I don't really know exactly. I'm just spitballing, but they really like beads and bones. So maybe their outfit is influenced off of those things, and maybe their outfits are very colorful, kind of shamanistic, indigenous perhaps. And it just depends on what decision you want.
Yeah.
And of course, I would need reference for that. Reference is your best friend, to make things more interesting. But yeah. So let's say maybe there's like the large pendant, dangly bits and stuff. But yeah, you know, that there's a character with some kind of accessories.
But decisions have to be made as you
Yeah.
move on. Like,
I can't- yeah.
if you're going, I want to design a character, and I can't decide whether they're based on a square or a circle or a triangle. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to draw something, like, you gotta make a shape. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta decide, what is this shape? Is it a square with rounded corners? Is it a circle? Is it triangular and sharp? Decisions have to be made, because at the end of the day, when a stroke gets put down, it's like, is it a straight line or is it curved? It can't be both.
And we can't make that decision for you.
Yeah.
So
if the answer is kind of just like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know, like, just try stuff. Start
Yeah.
trying stuff out. That's paper's cheap. You can draw stuff and try it and experiment and find references.
and this is not their. And I would say, like, for this character, this would not be the everyday fashion. This would be a ceremonial fashion.
Yeah.
So,
maybe so.
like, maybe it's handed down after a bunch of, like, from families, from different mothers and stuff, and they're trying to celebrate, you know. So this will be a very rare occasion. You know, that's a decision. So yeah. I saw someone say Brian Griffin is Seth MacFarlane. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure how I could even do the culture thing. I mean, that's totally up to you. You're the decider.
You are the decider.
You are the decider of stuff. Bunch of cultures that the survivors just kind of came together. Like, there's gonna be some sort of a mishmash. I mean, what was a dang, I remember I played like a game or something, and there was like some place where a bunch of people came together with different cultures and backgrounds, but like that could be a vibe, right? I mean, think of like a Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah.
You'll have like a what are they called? They're not called inns, almost like a tavern or something in Star Wars, and you'll have a whole bunch of different aliens from a whole bunch of different cultures that come together, and that's got a vibe in and of its own. Like, that would be so different than like a ceremony with a whole bunch of people from the same culture.
I would even say, like, take reference of like real world cities. Like, we're a mishmash. Like, this kind of, like in America, like it's a big mishmash of different cultures, and they just came together.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, even like fusion cuisines, for example, like, oh well, for instance, different tribes, they had limited amount of resources, so then they created a different food that became like a modern delicacy today. You know, like Navajo fried bread, for example. If you want to research like real world stuff, you know, it's not just from your imagination, but look at different cultures of different tribes and how they formed their own likes and dislikes and stuff.
Yeah, you'd be amazed what comes out when you just start kind of scribbling down ideas. But, like, that's literally how it works in the entertainment industry. Like, people just come together and they just start spitballing. It's literally called spitballing or blue sky. You know, if you get hired on a project as an artist, as just like a blue sky artist, you're literally doing anything goes. I really liked the design direction on Anthem. They had some really, really interesting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Rael Lyra. Oh my gosh, his characters are so good. That's literally like a blue sky project. They just hire people to try stuff and experiment. Like, you find a direction, a type of shape language or a type of culture to sort of base your design on and try it out, and then you choose a new one and try a different one. I love Anthem, so underrated. I actually never played it, but I worked on it for a year or more. How long did I work on it? Pretty much a year.
Yeah, I think a year. And another thing is, like, you can take reference of certain objects that inspire you, and you can say, like, okay,
That's fun.
you know, this is a fun thing, and you're like, okay, well, I can do whatever I want. You have free will, so I'm going to decide that my tribal outfit is going to be based off of this stuff, and then I'll add some extra ideas to it. I don't know, this just popped up on my feed on Pinterest, so I think this is quite interesting. This is a better picture. But yeah, you can just take aspects of it and be like, what can I do to make it feel that vibe? And I don't really know. It made me think. Made me think, like, what if I turned this into like a character, for example, and it's like,
What app? It's Procreate on the iPad.
this feels like very fairy-like. I do a lot of fairy stuff because I like it, but I'd rather find something else. But either way, you know, this could be based off of like an architectural thing. You know, maybe a lot of your world will look like this. And so this is like stone, or this is like, you know, bits of the building or a tower that people build. And you can just base your design
That's
off
sick.
of something like that. Yeah, that's sick.
Save that.
I'll save that. Grim Reaper project?
Maybe. I was even thinking the piece that I started last night. You see, when I
Ooh,
was making this, I was actually thinking, what if I put a bridge right here? And then there was like a castle kind of in the background. I was looking for an interesting shape for like a castle. I think that would be pretty
That'd
sick.
be sick.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I
was thinking about continuing that piece a little bit. Apple Pen Pro, yeah.
Yes,
Apple Pencil Pro.
Apple Pencil Pro.
Is culture that important for this kind of thing? That's completely up to you.
It's completely up to you.
Like, is it? I don't know. It's your project.
Yeah.
Some projects it's not. Some projects it is.
I would say, like, culture is just everywhere, though. Like, even if this location or whatever tribe doesn't have a culture, that's also a culture, because that's like the thing, right? That's a thing.
It's almost like the idea of no decision is a decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you want to make the decision of not focusing on it, then that's going to create its own unique look.
Yep.
The brush?
You can get this brush on our website. drawanime.com. It is the green button that says digital brush that we use or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, look at like the culture differences between something like, what's that one with like the robot dinosaurs? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh.
Like, they spent a really long time developing the culture and developing like architecture and everything for that. I think Character, it's a design studio, Karakter, or yeah, I think that's how you spell it. They're really, really good, like really good, and they spent a lot of time working on like cultural stuff, architecture, the style of that project. They got a lot of stuff up on their social medias.
It's cool.
That's sick.
I don't know, I'm just looking at that and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna turn this into a hat. Can you do a tutorial with a girl from the back with only a towel on, something like that?
You mean like you can see the shoulder blades and stuff?
Oh, that'd be fun. Obviously, I don't really know what pose you want, but generally with that kind of view, if you want a more like flattering look, you would have to do it in a 3/4. So I would start off with like a main gesture. Like, do I want this girl to be like this and she's looking from behind? You know, that will shift the direction of the shoulders, right? And just block out your proportions. Here's a spine. Here's a lumbar.
Mm-hmm.
You
Draw
know,
that structure underneath.
Draw the structure underneath. Here's the scapula. Maybe she's doing this, so maybe her scapula is actually kind of moving a little bit, so it looks more like from the top view, it will kind of look like this, because the scapula is floating,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of anatomical knowledge will help you on this.
Yeah.
Like, how does the scapula move based on the position of the arms?
Right. Here's the shoulder coming up. Here's the back of the arm. And then the towel.
Like, where is the towel?
Yeah. Is it tightly wrapping around the back, or is it a little bit looser?
And even how high is the towel? Is it just on her waist? Is it up higher? Is it under her arms? So those are all your decisions. And you know, you're the artist, so decide where stuff is.
Loose. Well, we're PG, so I'm not gonna make it that loose, but you know, that will determine how loose you want it. So
yeah, I mean, you'd probably get some. If it were really loose, you'd probably get some of like these kind
like
of
the diaper fold look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might get something like that more so.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll probably get some overlaps there. Yeah, it's
like
basically a diaper fold.
There we go. Any tips on how to start doing digital art? Start. Sorry, start.
Just try it. Just
yeah.
Try something basic. Use a basic brush, basic layers. You can even find like a YouTube guide that introduces you to it. I feel like a lot of people get overwhelmed by digital art because they try to jump into too many tools too fast. Literally, this is digital art on stream, and it is one single layer with one single brush the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's one layer. There's one layer. Is there one layer?
Well,
no, there's two layers.
Well, there's 2 layers, but 1 layer is for like this. I might as well just
that merges.
Yeah, it's 1 layer.
One layer on one canvas with one brush, and honestly, that's all a lot of people ever use.
Yeah. It's not about like, oh, what specific tools you have to use for digital art. Like, you can use whatever you want.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say just get started. Just try stuff. You know, get something basic. Mm-hmm. Experiment around a little bit.
So someone's also asking like how to do a loose onesie, and I think draw the structure of the outfit without the onesie first, and then decide how. Since you want it baggy and loose, it's going to basically not define any of this girl's body shape at all. So, that's cute. They're looking for like an animal onesie, so like something that's more of like a
pajama thing.
Like pajama thing. Yeah. So, you know, very loose sleeves that kind of get wider towards the bottom. very baggy pants, which show basically no curves whatsoever, but maybe like sag towards the bottom. And it's pretty straightforward.
And the crotch tends to go down a little bit.
Yeah, crotch tends to go down a
If
little bit
it's
because
very
it's very
loose.
loose. It will like go all the way down here, but that's not where the actual crotch is. The actual crotch is right here. The on the onesie, it's gonna be lower.
Yeah, so like draw the structure of the pose underneath and then drape the cloth over top of it. And your tension points are going to reveal the structure of the pose.
Yeah.
So like it's going to get caught on the shoulders, so the shoulders would probably be in the right place. But parts that hang down are really going to
Just like droop.
not describe the form.
Yeah. So I made a character, she's kind of a boss energy. She has a metal corset, boots, fingerless gloves, and fitting parts that are a bit patched up. What accessories will be good?
That's totally up to you.
Totally up to you. Like, I would say...
I honestly don't feel like we should be doing the design for you or
No.
the thinking, because it's your project.
It is your
Like,
project.
This is the sort of thing that will make your project unique and interesting to
Yeah.
you. If we made those decisions, it wouldn't really be your project anymore.
Like,
It depends on the world.
what aesthetic do you want her to have? Do you want her to have, like, a rock band metal aesthetic? You know, if so, look for some girls with accessories that have that vibe. And then that will determine what you want to choose for her, right?
It sounds like you have a pretty good idea of the
yeah.
character already. Make 5 different versions of the character and try
Yeah.
different accessories on each one and go, I like this one the most.
Talk about male anatomy, like shoulders to stomach.
They didn't say male.
Oh, yeah, it's in male.
Oh, that one. I was
Yeah.
looking at the previous comment.
Oh, okay. What was the previous comment?
Can you talk about anatomy, like
Oh.
shoulders to stomach?
Well, here's I kind of have a little basic one. I'm just gonna ignore this. Male anatomy, from shoulders to abs or shoulders to what's it? Stomach. Well, you got your back muscles, which is your traps. You got your neck muscles, which looks like a V. Here's your pecs. I'm not going to really talk about too much on like structure because I'm assuming if you want to talk about anatomy, you want to talk about the muscles. But it's really not that hard. Just make sure that they're in the right place. Here's your rib cage. Here's your abs, which goes down to the crotch. And then your obliques. That's about it. You know, if you want to just do like focusing on the torso area.
Main muscles.
Main muscles.
Like, honestly, just focus on like the simple volumes as well. Like, the volumes are the most important thing, especially if you draw in characters without or with clothes on. You're only really just getting those main volumes that the clothes are resting on top of.
I mean, if you want to go more in depth, feel free to take a screenshot of this. You know, this is stuff that we've done in our anime art school. This is all the anatomy. It's very basic. But yeah. Do you have any tips on making bangs not look flat? I'm struggling with a drawing commission.
Bangs come off of the forehead.
Yeah, bangs come off of the forehead and they kind of come out like this. It's
Yeah,
like a
they've got a
round.
3-dimensional shape to them. Generally, it's going to be like a little arc or a curve, but it depends.
Depends on like what angle is it. If you're doing it from the front, you're still going to add curvature, like this. Like you want to show how it's starting from one point to the next. You know, this is very extreme, but it has the same concept, right? This looks like that, and it looks like this from the 3/4. And they all have that curvature. So that's how you can make it look not flat. How to draw a quick sketch? Make a quick sketch. Sorry, I can't tell you how to do that. I would say if you want to do a quick sketch, try to get as much of whatever you want to draw down. Like if you're drawing a figure, you know, what I would do for a quick sketch is like, oh, I want to do my proportions.
Just the essentials, yeah.
The essentials, like, you know, what's the body type of the character? How tall are they? Do they have short legs? Do they have long legs? What's the overall pose? And you got a quick sketch. That gets the essence across, and then you can always add on top of it, right? So I can't tell you how to do it. I just look for certain things.
Yeah, I mean, if a quick sketch, of course, there's like an infinite amount of like things you could sketch, but assuming you mean a person, because that's usually what people mean, getting the essence of the pose could be good for a quick sketch. Like, I mean, and what's quick? Is quick 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people who spend an hour on a sketch, and they'll spend 50 hours on an illustration.
Yep. And then you can, just add, like, okay, what outfit do they have? Do they have, like, this kind of thing? I don't know. I'm just doing something random.
Ponytails from the front.
Oh.
That's fun.
Mickey, I'll do Mickey as a little example. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so ponytails from the front will depend on how high your ponytail is. I'm assuming you want it like a high ponytail because that's where it would show from the front view. But if you don't have a high ponytail, it will not, you won't see the bump, right? So I would say determine how high do you want it. If it's a high ponytail, you will see a bump. That looks like this. And then you can, show the side, however long you want the hair to be. You can say, okay, what I want it to be even higher. So here's the hair tie. This comes out like this. So we see like the bump like even higher. And the ponytail could be spreading, like a fountain. So let me just draw Miki because she doesn't look good without being Miki. Bangs first, whatever bangs that you want your character to have. There'll be overlaps, right? You got your side hair strands, your bangs, and then your ponytail. And generally with your ponytail, you can definitely add some element of the hair being tied to the back, but depending on how much overlaps you have in your hair, you're not going to really see that. So it just depends on how much you want to show.
If they have no bangs,
If they have no bangs, yeah.
and it's all pulled back, you'll probably see some lines wrapping around to the back.
Yeah,
but
like-
Mickey has bangs.
Yeah. So like if it's no bangs and it's all pulled back, you would see this.
So, yo.
And then you'll see the bump of the ponytail.
How do you draw muscles? A muscle basically looks like this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a muscle.
Mm-hmm. How do I shade the shapes without looking harsh? Use softer edges. So like, here's a very sharp edge. Which, sharp edges are necessary. If you want to soften it, just literally don't shade as hard. Use a soft brush, perhaps. Or just soften the edge. Now it looks a little bit softer.
How do I shade shapes without looking harsh? Is that what you were responding to,
Yeah.
the YouTube one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, contrast. Yeah,
Contrast, yeah.
if it things that have high contrast look sharp, and there's a lot of different types of contrast, by the way. There's contrast of shape, like circle versus a triangle. Those are very different shapes, a lot of contrast. There's contrast of color, which is like, green versus red. There's also contrast of value, which is like a light versus a dark, which is generally what people are referring to when they say contrast most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's contrast of edge, so there's like a soft edge that looks fuzzy, and there's a hard edge that looks crisp. So contrast in general is going to call attention to it. So if you put less contrast of any of those things, they will tend to be a little bit less eye-catching.
Yeah.
So if you find that you're accidentally drawing people to a part of your image that's a little bit too much, you can try reducing any of those things.
Cool. See, look, soft edge. I just blurred the edge. This is an arm, by the way. But this is very, very sharp, so you can really see the edges very clearly. But then there's also types where you can just fuzz out the edge. And now you have contrast of value. So even though the edge might not be super sharp, you can still see what's happening based on the values, right? And then you can have, some edges pretty sharp, like this, and then some edges pretty soft. So like maybe on the inside, the edges are soft. So that's more contrast of texture. I feel like that's interesting. What type of brush do you use? It's on our website, drawyanime.com. You can click on the green button and download it on a different tab.
I never got a drink, bro.
Bro, get your drink. Another thing about shading. Okay, so one thing is don't shade shapes, shade forms, because shapes are 2-dimensional, forms are 3-dimensional. Shapes is circle, square, triangle, or anything that doesn't have dimension.
Yep, any
Right.
2-dimensional
But
shape.
you know, let's say this circle becomes three-dimensional. That's a sphere, that's a form. And then when you shade that, it looks like this. Right? You know, this is a box. And if you know how to shade the primitive forms, you know, then you'll be able to shade things properly. So like Colton teaches that in his class in our anime art school.
Speaking of.
So here are some examples. You know, he's shading primitive forms like boxes in different values, and boxes will generally have very hard edged shadows. So you can't really put soft shadows on there. But things like cylinders, like this right here, which have a more gradual turn, will have softer shadows, and he uses a softer edge for this. So yeah. And if you're interested in anime art school, you can go check it out on our website, dryanime.com. You know, that's a URL, of course, and it's the yellow button. Teaches a bunch of stuff. Fundamentals of art without the confusion. Perspective of head looking up. I would say if you can't draw a box looking up, it's going to be very hard to draw a head looking up because a lot of it has to do with the overlaps. How high do you want it to look up? Do you want it to look up like extremely high where you're only seeing the bottom and just a tiny bit of the top? So this is the bottom. This is the top or the front of the face. Or do you want it to be like half and half? Generally, it's much easier to draw the face. Well, actually, maybe not. This is actually quite easy. You know, what kind of perspective are you looking at? Are you looking? This is the bottom, front. So, choose. Which one do you want to do? If you're looking this way, you would see. Let's actually take a little head here. Let's see. I don't know what character you want drawn. What kind of character do you want? But if you look at a head that's turning this way, that means the head is turning all the way.
People ask this question so much that I just wrote drawanime.com on the bottom of it.
Yeah. So what happens is you got the chin, which is a very specific kind of mustache shape, I guess. And then you barely will even see the eyes or anything like that. You'll see the nose coming out. So this is what it will look like. Here's the ears. Here's the nose. Here's the neck. Head looking up.
Kind of windy out.
Ooh, windy. Yeah, nice. You know, maybe you'll see a little bit of the forms of the head, like the sphere of the head. But if you're looking at it, now this is a very difficult and awkward head angle because it's just not very natural unless you have a scene that shows the character looking like this.
Like Vegeta.
Like Vegeta.
Except that was a side view, wasn't it?
That was a side view. But this is the more common one. So, okay, now you have your head. You have the ratio of the bottom of the head to the top of to the front of the head is about half and half, right? So you'll see something like this, and this is the part where things get tricky because it's not very intuitive. You're not used to drawing this. So what I would do is, I'm kind of looking. This is what it's supposed to look like from my point of view, but you're looking at it from the front now. So I'm gonna do like this. I would say, okay, where's my chin? My chin, based off of this circle, is probably around here. Maybe a little bit lower than that. All my features will be really curved because this is a curved surface. Here's my nose. My nose will be much higher. My mouth, my eyes and nose will kind of get squished together because you're looking up at it. Here's the ears. Here's the chin. Here's the neck. He can even use a cylinder for this as well. Like, this kind of looks like a cylinder. Here's the cheek. Here's where the jaw comes down. So, yeah. Hey, Leo. How are you? It's been a while. What is your favorite anime? I don't know. We have a lot of favorites. Do you mind showing how to draw a trench coat on a person? Hey, a trench coat sounds fun.
Didn't they look one up?
Yeah, look one up. Do you want it on a female or a male? Because that will be a different style depending on who's wearing it. If it's a feminine, if it's like a female body, they're not gonna wear it like a guy. It's gonna be a bit different. A male, okay. Guy trench coats. Oh, that's a good one.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Try it on.
Try it on. Wow.
Ooh, those are sick, bro. I need to put those on my list of things to practice drawing.
Sick.
Crap, I
Where
lost
did we
it.
go?
Did you like that one?
I did like
enough
that one.
to do it?
I like that one enough to do it.
What the heck was that? It was like a shopping thing. Oh,
yeah.
here it
There
is.
we
Open
go.
image in new tab. Is that enough?
That's perfect.
There you go.
Sweet. All right, so I would say when you are drawing a trench coat on someone, first draw the character without the trench coat, because the trench coat really covers a lot of the body. So you want to know what the pose is first before doing the trench coat. And trench coats are tricky because there's a lot of components to the outfit, and they're very specific. So your drawing can look as simple as this before you put the trench coat on, because everything else is covering it anyways.
Yeah, whenever you draw outfits and clothing, I really, really recommend draw a simple structure of the body underneath to start, and make sure it's in simple volumes. You can't drape cloth over a flat object and have it look like a person.
Yeah.
So all of these are three-dimensional objects. The arms, you can break them down as cylinders. The body, pretty much everything you break down as cylinders.
Here's now I turn the body to cylinders just by adding some round wrapping lines. Do you have any tips on chibi style? Well, lucky for you, our newest video on YouTube is about chibis, 3 different types of chibis, so you can check that out. Our handle is Draw Anime Academy on YouTube. And I think it's literally called How to Draw 3 Different Types of Chibis. I'm not spelling this right. Academy. Draw Anime Academy on YouTube. Yeah, you're welcome. Discord server link. It is on our website as well. Drawanime.com. That's where you find the Discord invite. If you can't find it, you can DM us asking for the Discord invite and we'll give it to you. Do I make my own art style? I think everyone ends up making their own art style. Unless you really want to copy an art style, like a Disney art style, and you really want your work to look like that, then yeah. So, trench coat. What I see in this reference here is that there's a high collar. So I like to break things down into, like, what are the simple shapes, like not three-dimensional, but 2-dimensional things that are happening with this trench coat. Okay, I see this triangle, this kind of diamond shape from the collar. I notice that it has very broad shoulders, so I'm going to make the shoulders a little bit sharper. I notice that it's very baggy, so it's going to cover the arm quite a lot, and it gets pretty thick. And this could be kind of messy, but that's okay. You know, and the trench coat doesn't really, it's not very skin tight either, so it's gonna get a little bit thicker on the side and then get a little bit thinner as it gets to the waistband, or the area where it ties the trench coat together, right? And then this comes out. So that's kind of like the main shape of a trench coat. And if you have that, you know, you're pretty much halfway there. Now all you need to do is kind of define certain things, like, okay, well, now what's the forms of the collar, like what shapes do they create? Like, here's one triangle, here's another layer, and this one overlaps this one on the left. This comes down. So you're trying to, like, piece together the different components of a trench coat, and you're just layering on top, right? What folds do you see? I see some folds based on this reference that, you know, it's pulling from the shoulders. And it's pulling it towards the waist. And here's the waistband. And you'll see folds coming down and being sucked into this waistband. And sometimes with trench coats, they'll have this extra little thing here. I don't really know what this is called, but sometimes you'll see it. It's like a little extra piece of cloth. But the other side won't have it for some reason. I don't know why. I guess that's just how they're made.
Which one?
This little piece. Sometimes I'll see the extra piece on one side.
Oh, yeah.
But the other piece, you don't do it.
What is that? Is the right side of him?
Yeah, it's his right side.
I wonder if
It's
that
our
has
left.
anything to do with, like... I don't know.
And then there's buttons as well on this side. Right, but it's just like a little clothing study compression folds in the joints. Sometimes you'll see like the cuff, and the cuff looks like this. So this is all about like studying what kind of outfit this is. You'll see this happening. You'll have this little strap, and then here's the actual cuff of the sleeve, and then you'll sometimes see like a little buckle on the other side. That happens with trench coats. How to make clothes folds. You're looking at it right now. Find your tension, and your folds generally gravitate towards that and spread out. And if something is sucking something in or like tucking something in, you'll generally see this happening. All these folds gravitate to a certain point, and then they come out and turn into little pipe folds.
There are 7 basic folds. You can actually, we have a TikTok on
we do.
that kind of describe the basic folds. I'll grab it. I'll show you which one it is. It is Anya. This is on our TikTok. You can save all these images. 7 basic folds. There is the get out of here, you dumb thing. Pipe fold, diaper fold, zigzag fold, spiral fold, half lock fold. Come on, drop fold, and dead fold. And by the way, don't forget to follow. You can also save that post, and you can download all those images if you want. It's like a handy little guide to the 7 basic folds. Thought Colton came across the live and thought Colton was sleeping. I'm trying not to.
Oh.
No, I'm just doodling.
I thought I was boring you to death. And there's buttons on this trench coat too. So yeah, it's basically like a very fancy suit, like a much more bulkier suit.
Is that unspeakable? I wish. He probably earns a lot more than I do.
And there's 2 layers to the trench coat. So yeah, there's a trench coat for a guy. Hopefully that was helpful. How long do you guys stay live for?
However long we feel like it usually.
Yeah, we don't have a chibi book, but we do have a chibi class.
Yeah, we have a chibi class online.
Yeah. Do we have that link on our
Probably.
website? It's probably on drawanime.com. I think it's drawanimeacademy.com/chibi class, chibi art class, but yeah, it's on there.
Chibi-art-class.
Yeah.
No, you find it on this page.
Yeah, I can find it on this page.
Drawanime.com. It'll probably be an orange button.
Yeah.
It's not the yellow button. That's Anime Art School. The chibi class is going to be the orange button.
The chibi class is pretty cheap. It's $20, and our books are basically like $20. So
30.
a 30. Oh yeah, they are
our
about
books are like
$30. That's right.
$27.
They are. It's not free. It's not free, but I mean, you can if you want. Our YouTube video on chibis is free.
Yup.
It's the latest video on our channel, how to draw 3 types of chibis. There it is. This is our website. This is our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy, and this is where you can get the free content. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff, like our live streams and our videos for free. So we're able to do this because we also get people who got our classes. All right. Let's see. Consistency and art style. That's interesting.
Whoever asked about consistency and art style, are you still here?
Yeah. Are you still here?
That was like an hour ago.
That was like an hour ago.
I mean, it's fine. We can still talk about it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Oh, they are here.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So I would say the first thing about consistency and art style is this is going to happen kind of naturally as you improve because your hand and your mind are going to remember the shapes. It's kind of like a muscle memory. So a lot of your art style is just going to be based on muscle memory, and that's going to develop naturally based on what you tend to draw a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
And your art style is going to be a lot of determined by what you practice a lot. So like if you spend a lot of time practicing rendering, like Lau for example, Lau has a very rendered art style because Lau likes rendering a lot. And so everything's very rendered, and so she gets very good at rendering because she likes to do it.
Yeah.
So consistency a lot of the time will end up just coming from what you tend to draw a lot and what you build a muscle memory for. But you can also make a little style guide for your art style. You can go, I want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want it to be this. I don't want it to be that.
Mm-hmm.
When you work on client projects, like for example, I worked on Bakugan cards back in like 2019 or 18 or something, and they had a style guide for Bakugan cards. They said, use this brush, this size brush, a hard brush on this size canvas. These are the colors that you tend to use. You would put like a warm light on one side, a cool light on another. They tend to render it quite like metal, and all of the armor of the monsters and everything. And they had a very specific look, and so you would get a style guide. Make one of your own if you like your style. If you want to make up style, create your own style guide. How thick of line work do you use? What type of shapes do you use? Like, you can see this character that Christina's drawing is very, she's not doing little tiny details. It's kind of like a really simple style that has very sharp edges to like the hair. It has a specific line work style.
But you can also alternate, aspects of your design style and make it like similar, right? So like I'm drawing Miki, Colton's character, in this
Yippee.
style, and I'm deciding that I want my hair to kind of have this vibe, right? And then let's say if I have a different character and she looks more rounder, well, how can I tweak this to make it still feel consistent, right? So for me here, okay, I want her ears to like how do I say this? I want certain things to be consistent. Like I want my face shape to be consistent. So like I want this to be the same face shape. I want my nose style to be the same, my mouth style to be the same, but maybe the eye style is slightly different. Let's do a different shape of eyes, but maybe this one is a different shape, but has the same quality, like the thick line work with one eyelash on the end, right?
It's very conscious decision making, by the way. Notice how every single line, every single thing she draws is like very consciously done with awareness.
Yeah.
It's not like randomly chosen. It's like she's making the pupils similar. She's making the highlight similar. She's making the gradation in the eye. The bottom lashes are similar. The ears are similar. The eyebrows have like a similar logic to them.
And then the hair, I'll just simplify a lot.
Do you guys critique someone's art based on what someone is asking advice on? We don't really do live critiques very often, but we do mentorships with students. If you're interested in that, you can direct message us on TikTok. We can give you information on it.
So yeah, now I got two different characters that look like they're a consistent style. And I'll do glasses, because Nico has glasses. But they still look visibly, different. But it's kind of the same,
Yeah, the logic behind it is the same.
Yep. Do you have advice on how to not over-render a lot of folds in drapery? I tend to want to draw every fold, otherwise it doesn't look right to me, but also when I do, that's when it looks too busy. I totally get that. Our
oil painting teacher talks about that.
Yeah. Let's see, is there like a... I'm wondering, maybe I have an example of some outfits.
This is gonna come down to your ability to identify tension and compression points.
Yeah, I know I have clothing somewhere.
So if you want to not over render clothes, you're gonna have to eliminate a lot of the smaller, less important folds. I would actually look at some animation work. Animators do a really, really good job at eliminating non-essential folds in clothing because they don't want to have to draw it a bunch of times.
Yep.
And so I would really recommend checking out even some stills from stuff like Legend of Korra, Avatar: The Last Airbender. They do a really good job in there. And they simplify the clothes, and obviously the designs are made for animation. You might not want to do animation, but they do a really good job at simplifying folds. And in manga, a lot of the time you'll see really, really good simplification.
Yeah.
Ignore small folds and pay attention to the large points of tension and compression. And try to leave stuff to the imagination. You can just imply there's something going on there without actually drawing it.
Yeah. Like, for instance, if your eyes actually really want to look at detail, and it's basically like instinct. I don't know why, but to avoid this, you can just squint your eyes, and basically all these little folds over here just disappear because they're not important. And if you draw them, you're basically telling people, or you're basically making it important by drawing it, right? So squinting is really important. So when I squint, I see, oh, there's this fold right in here. There's these heavy folds. But even then, I'm not drawing every single fold, right? Here's this little band that I see, and this little shadow underneath. Here's this fold. All this kind of doesn't really matter. It's flat to me. All this, I see this one little line right here. So then I basically try to translate that into my drawing, so that, because when you keep your eyes open, I think, I don't know what will be a good way to describe it. Everything's becoming more like foggy and more like muddy because you're trying to focus on so many different things at once. Like your eyes, once you focus on one thing, everything else gets blurry. But if you try to like look at this side and then this side and this side, then your eyes starts focusing on different things. So that's what happens when you keep your eyes open. When you keep your eyes closed, it narrows things down.
Closed?
Sorry, not closed. When you squint your eyes, it narrows things down. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Our oil painting teacher, he's a phenomenal artist. Galleries for 40 years, won a lot of awards. He literally does nothing but squint the entire painting.
Yeah.
He does nothing but squint. You watch him paint from a live model, and he is only doing this the entire time. And another thing, this is something really interesting. I never heard this before. He said he glances at the model to get an impression. Like, he'll glance at the model. He doesn't stare at the model or the clothing. He'll glance at it to get an impression of the shapes. I thought that was really interesting.
That is really interesting.
It's a good piece of advice. See, you take classes from dozens of different people, and you'll always hear something you never heard before, and you're like, wow, it's really interesting. Mm-hmm. I'll show you some of his work. His name is Robert Lemler, and I'll have to be careful because he does a lot of nude figures. Robert.
And over-rendering also kind of has to do with overdrawing. So, like, when you draw your outfit and you already draw something with, like, hyper detail.
Here's an oil painting of his.
So good. Oh, wow, that's lovely.
That's a still life that he did. He's a very, very good artist. Let's try to find some other stuff that's not naked people. Nope. He did this as a demo in class recently. That's a really nice oil painting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
He does these in like an hour. They're oil from life. Well, this one was from a photo, but he mostly does from life. He gave us that one.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
It's not just highest contrast, but also like what direction is the cloth going. Like, for instance, yeah, contrast has to do with it, but I also think like, okay, here's a direction. There's a main direction because this cloth is literally, being sucked in by this cloth, and so that creates this direction. And so I want to show that by adding this line, this movement, and all this follows that movement. So look for movement, and also, contrast definitely helps as well. So when you keep your drawing like with the most like essential things in your drawing, when you render, you got to make sure you keep the integrity, or if that's what you want to do. Like, if I'm going to render this, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to make sure that my drawing maintains this level of detail. If I start adding too much because it's kind of like in the moment, it's all about feelings, then that's when I over render. So you have to be like conscious when you render as well. So like if I were to render this, I'm not going to use color or anything. Let me actually duplicate this drawing as well so I can have that as like a little bit of a reference. That's not what I wanted. Cut and paste. That's not what I wanted. Duplicate. Okay, there we go. So this is kind of like your thumbnail, right? And now, when you render or shade whatever you want to do, you want to make sure that the integrity is there. So like, okay, I want this value to be in here. I want this shadow to describe this movement. And here, and just try to keep it simple. This part might have the most detail because it has a lot of contrast, has a lot of shapes. So you can go a little bit more of the extra mile on this part, but then everything else can be simple. So you can also choose which part of the outfit do I want to be complex. This part, I decided to make it complex. Everything else, I just left alone. And now it doesn't look over-rendered because you like know where you want to put your focus. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I struggle with the process between shifting from anatomy to adding clothing. Any advice? It feels like I'm stacking clothing instead of fitting it well to the character I'm drawing.
Wait, I struggle. This could be a really good question. Let me look at this. I struggle with the process between shifting from anatomy to adding clothing, stacking clothing instead of fitting well to the character I'm drawing. I totally know what you mean. Like, it is difficult. Like, you take a bunch of figure drawing classes, and then you're like, okay, I'm taking a costume drawing class. I would say, look for areas where the cloth hugs the body, the underlying form, and areas where the cloth is not hugging the body. For example, on Christina's drawing right here, you can see that this right here is really hugging the body, right? Like, she has this underlying form right here and right here, and the cloth in this area is wrapped and hugging the body. And then there's other areas where it's not. It's kind of like loose and coming off, and so you'll sort of have this play of this part of the shoulders is touching, and then this part right here is loose. And so you'll see that there's a tension point at my hand, and you've got lines that are radiating from that tension point back to hugging parts of my body. And so you tend to get that a lot, but when it comes to drawing clothing on characters, that understanding the underlying form is really important. She's like, I'm stacking clothing instead of fitting well to the character I'm drawing. Yeah. Is that kind of what you mean? You'll get parts of the outfit that really hug the form of the body, and you'll get other parts that really are loose. And other things are like, I'm in the middle of drawing this, but I haven't gotten to this part, but I'll draw it really quick. You'll get shadows as well that describe pieces of the body. So for example, on this drawing that I'm just doing right now, you'll see that the shadow of the trench coat is describing the form of the leg underneath. It's wrapping around the cylinder. And you'll see that I'm like varying the line weight in certain areas to imply shadow. So like, you know, this flap coming down right here is like kind of wavy. It's like there's variation, there's subtle variation in how close to the piece of cloth behind it is, right? Like that. And so you can increase and decrease the line weight, and you're gonna get pieces of clothing that really hug the body and pieces of clothing that really are loose, right? And a lot of the time the pieces of clothing that hug the body is like the tops of things, the knees, the shoulders, the head. Does that make sense? Guys, please don't argue in the chat.
Yeah, please
Just
don't.
drop it. We didn't take offense to anything that was said. We know people join all the time.
Yeah, we're used to it. We get people who ask very similar questions, and I'm like, oh yeah, time to explain it. You know, I don't know.
There have been 3,200 people that have come and left the stream. People join all the time and ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Where was you guys are goated? Thank you.
Thank you.
How do I create a simple style of a face where I can express more emotion of characters?
That will be depending on you entirely. But I also think that find some styles that feel expressive to you that you like. I don't know about simple because I don't know what simple means to you. Like, anime is pretty simplified, but maybe it's not as expressive as you want it to be. I guess maybe just try to find a style that you like and do a bunch of studies of it. Because expression and how much you want to express is basically depending on what you want to show. Is there a right way to construct a figure? I use the boxes / cylinders to construct the body, but I notice other people use gesture and just go straight in.
I wouldn't. No, there's no one right
There's no
way
one
to construct the body. There's a lot of good ways. Many people construct the body in many different ways. Different figure drawing classes will teach you different ways. Most of them are based on similar methods. Proportion is pretty standard how they teach it, but I would say just find a method that looks good and practice it and learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're comfortable with it, you'll see other ways of constructing the body, and your knowledge that you already have will kind of act as like an underlying foundation where you can sort of build onto that. Any method that you'll learn for constructing the body is generally pretty good. It's all just personal preference. I mean, any legit method, like there are definitely just dumb ways, like in my opinion, no offense to anybody, but like there are not very effective ways.
Yeah.
If you want some recommendations, I really recommend Michael Hampton. He has a great YouTube channel. Can you
Yeah, I can write that down.
Michael Hampton is a very good artist. He has a figure drawing book. He teaches He teaches figure drawing. Michael Hampton. Will Weston is great. Will Weston learned from Glenn Vilppu. Glenn Vilppu is a legend. These aren't the only ways, by the way. There's a lot of amazing artists out there. Mm-hmm. But if you want like a direction to kind of look into, Vilppu, I believe.
Okay.
There's Kirk Shinmoto. He's from the animation industry, character design background, and he teaches a really, really good anatomy class, figure drawing class.
Mm-hmm. What brush you're using? You can find this brush on our website, drawanime.com. It's the green button on the website. Honestly, one of the best brushes that we've ever had.
Bro, going multiple years with that as my favorite brush and still going strong.
Mm-hmm. Can you help decide which color would look best to shade a dirty blonde hair color? I'm debating between a green and more red one.
It so depends on the lighting situation.
It depends on the lighting, yeah. What's your lighting? Is it cooler? Is it a cool light or a warm light? There's a few ways that I like to choose my colors for dirty blonde. Like Tira has kind of like dirty-ish blonde hair, and her hair is sort of like on the warmer side. No, it's more like a muted yellow, not super saturated. And so whenever I do this, I start alternating my tones. So for me, this is kind of like a cold yellow, meaning it's not a very warm yellow. It's more towards like a greenish yellow. Because maybe it's a little bit more kind of in between yellowish orange actually. But for me, I'll either decide, okay, do I want it to be more green? So meaning more like this. If that's makes sense for the lighting, that's totally fine with me. For me, I personally like to go a little bit warmer. I like to go even warmer and more saturated because I find that looks better to me. So I'm gonna go more towards orange and just put that in. It's darker, it's a little bit more saturated than my base. And to me, that feels really nice. It feels richer. That's just my opinion though. But this can totally change depending on what scene or environment your character is in. If it's like in a neutral background, like not a lot of colored lights, then you can do something like this. So yeah, does this brush look a lot like a shield? Yes, this is the one that looks like a shield. Whoops. There we go.
It looks just like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome for the shape of a brush because it's a dynamic shape.
Yeah.
Just to start with, you're literally drawing with a dynamic shape, so how could you not get a dynamic line out of that?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love that brush.
But yeah, I personally like using more of like a warmish tone for dirty blonde because, I mean, if you look at the color relationships between these two colors, this still feels, even though this is a orangish yellow, it's desaturated and also darker, which actually cools the yellow down. And so when you pair it with a warmer tone that's like more saturated, then it feels warmer. So, something like that I think is interesting. Very pretty. I have a problem learning shadows and light. I always mess it up. Light source.
Yeah, shadow and light, I would say learn the basics of how to light things, of rendering primitive forms.
Stuff like this.
Let's see. I don't
probably have
really
better-
have great examples in here,
You probably have better ones up in here.
but you know, assignments that teach you how to render primitive forms, calculate cast shadows, core shadows, cast shadows, how to figure out where the core shadows of stuff are. What are you looking for?
Oh, I was just looking for if there's any other examples you want to show.
I
but-
don't think there's much on my iPad.
Yeah.
But basically, when it comes to lighting, light and shadow, you're gonna need to learn how to render your primitive forms, and not even render, just figure out where the shadows are on them. So you got cylinders, you've got cubes, you've got cones. What else?
Spheres.
Yeah, spheres. There you go.
Triangular prism. Although that's kind of
Yup.
hard.
Triangular prisms.
Oh, very nice.
You got ribbons. Right? So learn how to find the shadows on these kind of objects. And light travels in a straight line, and it has a definitive direction that is three-dimensional. It is not just like a two-dimensional thing, like what direction it's going. It is a three-dimensional form. So if this were a light, I would recommend putting your light source in as a three-dimensional arrow. This light is different than this light, even though they're going basically in the same direction, like two-dimensionally on your screen, they're going to be going in a different direction three-dimensionally. This one, you know, light A and light B, light A is going to create a core shadow here on the cylinder. Light B is going to create a core shadow here on the cylinder, and all of this is going to be shaded, and your cast shadow is going to come out like that. So think of light in terms of 3D.
What's the perfect canvas size? I don't know.
It's totally
up to you.
It is a very subjective thing.
Yeah. If you're looking for something that's higher res, you go in the thousands. Like for me, I think 5,000 by 6,000 is a pretty good size. 10,000 tends to be a bit too big because, I mean, it's just a lot of pixels. I would say that if your canvas size is in the hundreds, like 600 by 800, that's way too small because it'll get very, very pixelated. And generally, people don't like to work in super low res like that.
Unless
So-
you're a pixel artist.
Unless you are a pixel artist,
There-
exactly.
I can guarantee you that pixel artists do not like working at many thousands of pixels. But yeah, like rendering primitive forms is the foundation of all of that. I did a little sketch yesterday, and rendering like primitive forms and learning how to calculate drop shadows and stuff. Like this is a directly above light source,
That's
right?
sick.
And this is like calculating cast shadows. It basically creates a little three-dimensional triangle. So, you know, if I'm gonna if I want to calculate a cast shadow of something, first I need a three-dimensional space. Then I need something that's actually casting a shadow. So let's just say this is a line and that's where it's connected to the ground. And now let's just say that I've got a light source that is coming down like, maybe it's towards me at a very steep angle like this. So I'm going to bring this line down and I'm going to bring it off the tip of this. And then the direction that this light is traveling on the ground is probably like this. So there's a little triangle. This is your cast shadow. So that's generally how it works. Of course, I'm kind of freehanding it from a weird angle, so it's not quite right. But that would definitely be accurate enough where you're getting in the ballpark of it's right and you can fix it later for sure. If you want another one.
The drawing app is Procreate, by the way. Ooh.
And now you've casted the shadow of like a plane, except it's a little warped.
It looks like a wedge though, but it's cute.
Yeah.
And so then all this would be in, you know, a shadow cast by this. And there's also a difference between point light and sunlight. A point light is like... So this bedroom is a demo that I rendered for my class, my rendering and painting class in anime art school. And you can see that my point light is right here. So all of my shadows are cast from this light. And you've got this little black line here that shows you exactly where above the ground that light is hovering. So all of these shadows are calculated according to this light right up here. And a sunlight would be more like... sunlight would be more like this. So all of these are parallel.
Interesting.
The sun's so far away that everybody just draws the lines as parallel.
It's like perspective. Farther away you are with a long lens, it's more parallel.
It's kind of like isometric perspective in a way.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can you teach me how to draw sheer fabric or some transparent cloth on human body? Really don't know how to start drawing and it ends up looking like so weird. So any tips on something? Oh, where's my pen? Oh, there it is. Sheer fabric. I would say you want to indicate like the body underneath. So like, let's draw a figure. And sheer fabric, you know, depends on how tight or how loose the character is, the clothing is on the character. So like the person
Is drawing on top of a 3D model considered bad tracing? No, I mean, it just depends on what your intention is.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have the rights to use the image? Like if you made the 3D model, trace over it, dude. Like go for it. If you're stealing someone else's 3D model and copying something that you're not allowed to use, then that wouldn't be
fly.
good.
Yeah.
It's all context. Are you allowed to use the thing? If you are, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not allowed to use the thing, then I would say it's probably not good.
Yeah. So sheer fabric also tends to be very thin. So use a lot of folds that are like kind of close together and also very flowy. Also quite soft. Not a lot of sharp edges either. So if I'm drawing like this dress in the wind and it's clinging on to this character, I would leave some parts of the drawing of the body underneath and have it be visible. So I would like kind of faintly draw it. And then I would wrap the folds around it, right?
Which of your books would you recommend to get first if someone wants both? It really depends. Both of them are standalone. Book number 1 is more on the basics. Book number 2 is on character design. So if you want to create your own characters, that's book number 2. If you want to learn kind of the basics of like heads and lighting and that kind of stuff and anatomy and all that, book number 1 has a more extensive section. Book number 2 does cover anatomy.
Yes.
But it's more focused on character design, like how to give characters emotions, facial expressions. I like book number 2 a lot better. I always recommend that one. That one holds a very special place. It's goated.
Yeah,
I love that book.
I love that book too. It's one of my favorites. It's probably the favorite, honestly.
I mean, there's only 2.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites.
It's like saying our cat to our cat. Like, you're one of my favorite of 3.
Yeah. Tips on drawing noses. If you're talking about the structure of a nose, it's a box. That's kind of modified. Looks like this. Your nostrils kind of fan out from here, actually. Nostrils are placed here. People tend to flare the nostrils too much, so just keep it more subtle. And nostrils are kind of hard to draw because they kind of end up looking like pig noses if you're not careful.
Yeah, there's definitely no one nose though.
Yeah, there's no one nose.
But there is similar structures. Like everybody has the structure, they're just different shapes.
Yeah, that's a cute nose. I like it when noses have like a little bump on the top. Like your nose.
Do you think anybody has a butt nose?
A butt.
Like butt chin, but like their nose is like a butt. Dang, that would be a cool character design. Like you could make that into a character. Butt
nose.
Butt nose. Hold on, let me
We
try.
could have like butt brow, butt nose, and butt chin all in the same character. That'd be pretty sick.
Butt character. Butt chin. Butt nose.
Yeah, like a little eyebrows.
And a butt forehead.
Yeah.
Butt head.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that poor kid's gonna get bullied a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
He's just always known as the butt head because his face is literally a butt. Ah, yeah, look.
Oh no. Bro, why does that actually look like me somehow?
No, it doesn't look like you. You just have the dimple nose and the dimple chin.
So 2 out of 3.
Well, okay. Well, to be fair, your chin is more like a dimple chin.
Yeah, it is a dimple.
It's cute. It's cuter than a butt chin. But I also don't really mind butt chins. I don't really care. But anyways, if you want to make like a large nose, same structure, bridge of the nose, the cartilage, the button part of the nose can be a little bit bigger. You can do something a little bit more like my nose, where it's angled down weird. It's not really that weird, but I think it's weird sometimes. I should say that actually. I think my nose is nice. Props to my parents. You can have this kind of nose, but they all have the similar structure. They have the bridge of the nose, and then you kind of decide like how high up do you want your nose to be and how pointy do you want it to be, right? Mine's a frog. Yeah, it kind of looks like a frog. And if you want to be really, really long nose, the anime Ranking of Kings, the lady with the long nose actually made it look really good. It's really cool.
I love it. I love that. Ranking of Kings was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And that show had no right to be that good. It's like instant like top five favorite shows.
She's like one of my favorite characters too. Healing.
Who's seen that show, by the way? Lukey? Bruh, that show is so good.
It was.
I should watch it again. So good.
What brush is that? You can get this brush on our website, drawenemy.com.
It feels like one of those shows that just completely did its own thing and didn't care about what anybody else is doing.
There was no fan service in that show.
They didn't care at all. They're
They
just
didn't care
like,
at all.
we're going to do our own style, do our own thing, and make our own story that's kind of unique and interesting, and it was so well done.
So well done.
We were just talking about that a lot last night. Like, I feel like a lot of shows feel like derivatives of what they feel like they should be doing, rather than kind of just doing their own thing and telling a story in the way that they see fit. It's almost like, oh, well, our story needs this because usually
They have that in the
have
show.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, or, oh, we need to put this in our story because that's usually what stories have.
Mm-hmm.
Or we need a character like this because there's usually a character like that. See ya, Dahlia?
Bye, Dahlia. I cried so much watching Ranking of Kings. I think I cried too.
So
I
good.
think I cried too.
That show like really inspired me to want to write more and create just an interesting, unique story.
Yeah.
Time is it 7?
Mm-hmm. Are you hungry?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite serious theme for how wholesome it can be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I
It's
love about it.
So good. Do you have an easy way of drawing side profiles? I've tried every method, but nothing is clicking.
What's not clicking for you? Like, is it the proportions of the features? Is it the size? Is it how the features are overlapping? Because sometimes the clicking part may just be one simple thing.
It's one simple trick.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is that one simple trick that clicks. Other times it's just you just gotta draw a bunch of times. I think what really stumped me with side profiles is how far to push the features. Like sometimes I remember the first side profile I drew, it looked like this, and I was like, why does it look like that? I don't understand. Like, oh, I got my nose and my lips right, but then I realized they come out, the features come out at different levels. So like, what I do is I'll start off with a circle, I'll draw like a little mask on top. This is like kind of like a stopping point to where all my features will land on the face, right? Here's my jaw. So you got to make sure that you have this foundation, because if you don't have this foundation, you end up looking like you have a thing that looks like this, which is not something that you want. At least if that's not the vibe that you're going for, right? Can't get the angle right mostly, where to draw the eyes. Eyes are going to be in the center of the face generally, depending on how mature your character is. If you have a child face, your eyes are going to be lower, but for now, got to understand the basics of face proportion before stylizing it up and stuff. So generally, eyes are situated in here, in the middle of the face. So you can just take this measurement and do that. Eyebrows, you can also take this head and divide it into thirds. This is your brow. This second 2/3 mark is your nose. So that way, you can push this brow ridge out, push the nose out, and this is where the nose ends. So now things are becoming a little bit easier, right? Here's the eyes. Eyes are situated a little bit more inward towards the face rather than outward. Here's your mouth. Your mouth is about halfway from this point to this point, maybe a little bit higher depending on your style. And then you overlap, and then here's your chin. You got a side profile. So one thing is your nose and your chin aren't necessarily like super straight. It's kind of at an angle generally, but once again, depends on the person. Everything else kind of like goes downward diagonally. So like this goes down diagonally. This doesn't come out to the same height as this. It's not really like that, right? It's more, here comes the nose, then a little bit lower comes the upper lip, then a little bit under that is the bottom of the lower lip. So there's already this kind of diagonal direction, and then from there, here's your chin. So you just got to do this a bunch of times, because if you're not used to drawing at all, it's just gonna be even harder. So just do it, even if it fails, right? Just keep practicing it, and then you'll be able to get it. I mean, I definitely drew these side profiles a lot in order to get it, so yeah. Stair step, yeah, it's kind of like a stair step. I actually, we do have a video on side profiles on our TikTok, and I did mention it's kind of like a stair step. Yeah, I think it's like a stair step. I don't really know what other kind of thing it looks like, but one thing that I thought was interesting was this. If you have like a really simple side profile that looks like this, where the mouth is very simplified, all you have to do to change it to add lips is just take this little section, add lips, and you'll see how much you chisel out from this point. And then you just erase the outside. You got a different style profile all of a sudden. I just think that's kind of interesting. I also noticed that in like 90s animes or like really old animes, their lips are like really, really high up. And then their nose, or not nose, their chin is like really low. A lot of the time they are. It's kind of like that. Isn't that interesting?
That's cool.
Yeah. But it works. I would need to study more of the style though in order to get it right, but they have a lot of very unique. I noticed that 90s animes will have this little mark on their cheeks.
The Yu-Gi-Oh chin.
Yeah. They have a lot of these like little marks. They'll have, like Sailor Moon will have these little dots for some reason at the bottom of their eyes. I don't know what it is, but
Blush?
it's not really blush.
It's like detail.
Yeah, it's like little detail, I guess.
Yeah. I remember back when we were in FZD, a lot of people would notice that Fang would just kind of draw dots here and there on his line work, and everybody's like, dang, I should do that. So then everybody started drawing dots. It's like,
They just go like this. I guess, I don't know.
Like, it really works
It does work.
if you draw, like, anything, like an
I
object.
can't see that. There we go. Illusion of detail.
Yeah, it just gives it a surface. It's almost like something exists on that surface.
How to stop making my male OCs look like a girl with boy features? You may be using the wrong head shape. If your head shape's too round, like this. Now, it's too feminine. If you make it longer, with sharper jaws generally, it'll look more masculine. And then your features for the guys will also elongate. So like here, a shorter face will have shorter features with larger eyes, right? But a longer face doesn't really have that same ratio. Generally, the eyes will be smaller, nose will be longer, mouth will be longer, and it feels more masculine. So you can just try that. Generally, it's always making the features and proportions a bit too soft and feminine. The little details remind me of Ash from Pokemon. Yeah, Ash has that little zigzag on his cheeks. I have no clue why, but
You know, and everybody does it. I mean, even people like Kim Jong-un would add dots. Everybody,
Yeah.
like whenever you're doing line work, everywhere, there's little specks.
little speps. How would that work with child characters? Yeah,
Would
it
that
would.
work
Yeah.
with child characters
Yes,
as
it would.
well?
It would. I mean, like, this is literally looks like a child. Guys, I just realized. Anime heads, like your modern anime head for a girl is a 4-month-old baby skull.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
crazy.
remember you sent me that.
I'll show
You
you.
sent me an image of it.
I
a
did,
drawing.
and I drew over, and I was like, wait a second. This is
4-month-old
crazy.
baby skull is the style of like kind of your, I don't want to say standard, but like kind of a
Modern.
generic modern anime.
So this is
4-month-old baby
4-month-old
skull.
baby skull.
Anime head.
Anime head. That's it.
We need a TikTok on that.
Yeah. You're like, it's like the conspiracy.
Everybody's like, it's a cat, it's a cat. Well, I mean, it could be a cat, but it could also be a baby
Look,
skull.
this is the eyelid. This is the eyelid. This is how big an anime eye is
It
compared to the
literally
face.
is.
And then all you have to do is just like connect the dots. And it's literally a 4-month-old baby. We've been drawing babies all the time. We never
Yeah.
knew it. It's crazy, isn't it? It does make them look cuter because babies look cute, right? Cat and baby skull. Ew. That'd be kind of weird. Interesting. You see it now. Now you can't unsee it. Sorry, chat. It's forever in your memory. And then actually, guy like handsome boy faces, like in modern anime, are basically like teenage boy skulls. They're not like fully adult skulls. Interesting, isn't it? Like I remember looking at a teenage skull, and I drew over it as well, just to kind of test what it looked like. And I'm like, oh wait, that's like an adult anime nowadays, adult anime character. Teen skull.
They hide it with the hair, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Like this. Oh yeah, it's just a slightly longer face. You make this a little bit sharper, and now it's like a young adult. It's like an 18-year-old
Anime character.
anime
you mean?
character, yeah. Because that's kind of the ratio. It's just interesting. It is more appealing. Like, what's the difference between teen and adult? Smaller eyes. Adults will have more drawn out features. So like, think of it like you're stretching the proportions out a little bit more. Now I'm doing more like modern anime, so this is like very exaggerated. It's very stylized. It's very Japanese. If you want to go a little bit more like realistic, you can look at like comics or something like that. But it really depends. Adults have larger faces, and they also have longer faces. And their jaws are more defined, right? And that, and that causes things to also be smaller, I guess, because it looked more mature. Like if you looked at an adult man and you drew like large eyes, it don't look very young. I mean, sorry, it doesn't look very old. It looks very young. It looks very
Or
natural.
Goku.
Or Goku, yeah, that's true. Goku's is an exception, but that's because his head shape isn't super adult. I would say Vegeta is pretty adult looking compared to Goku.
Yeah, Goku never quite grew up all the way.
Yeah, that's true. He's still a kid on the inside. So here's a teen. Not classic. Modern anime style. Larger eyes. Smaller features. Adults. Smaller eyes. Closer to the brows. It's kind of dumb looking, but you get the point. This feels more like an adult than this one. So, I'm drawing these really fast. I'll do
Bro,
this.
you know how many like derpy faces are in anime if you pause?
Yeah.
Like you were talking, oh, card captor Sakura, they never draw the faces
Oh.
bad. We pause it and it's just like, okay,
Okay.
what is going on with Sakura right now, bro?
Yeah. I crushed on a random adult drawing. Oh, it's funny. And then you just add cool hair, I guess. But this can also be feminine. Like this can be in a teen boy or teen girl. All you have to do for that is give eyelashes and then there it's teen girl. No eyelashes and with a boyish hairstyle will mean teen boy. Lashes, girly hair, teen girl. It's like it's just because anime is very limited in their styles and a lot of it can be kind of morphed.
Well, if you're talking about the really kind of standard generic
Yes.
anime look, I mean,
Yes.
I wouldn't say that most anime are like that,
You know, that's true. That is true.
but a lot of them these days are. Your,
Yeah, like your most common anime style. We need to
I-
bring back more interesting styles. to be
Yeah,
honest.
I really want to get away from like the kind of standard anime look and do something a little bit cooler. We need to bring like, you know, the Berserk or Cowboy Bebop or
I know the
Trigun
Trigun.
or the gritty, more realistic
Textural.
proportion older anime back and kind of merge it with more modern techniques. I think that would be sick.
That would be so cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I like drawing.
Oh, I love it. It's gorgeous.
It's cute.
It's not the only thing
But
I
it's
want
not
to
the only
look
thing.
at, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I were to make my own anime and I could choose something like, I don't know, the style of like Sword Art Online or the style of something like Cowboy Bebop,
Oh,
I
I
would
go-
choose Cowboy Bebop 100,000 times out of 100,000 times.
Cowboy Bebop draws wonderful women.
Teen Titan style is pretty cool,
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's pretty unique. It's a one of a kind, you know.
you know. And that's just my personal preference. I don't have anything against the style of Sword Art Online. I just prefer others. Something sick, bro. Like, you know those like really cool old animes like You're Under Arrest and
Oh, Alita Battle Angel had a
Or,
really cool
um,
style.
or Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh yeah.
They're so cool.
Well, even then, they kind of had like the common anime style of that generation, but it now looks very unique to us nowadays
Yeah.
because we don't see that anymore.
Like I really like the gritty stuff. Hey Brianna, how's it going?
I just went from drawing to my drawing up. I realized I was looking for something and ended up in this life. Oh, really? Thank you. Stars, are you new? Can I please get a tutorial on realistic-ish noses?
Happy belated birthday. Thank you to both of us.
Oh, thank you. Realistic-ish noses. Depends on how much you want to show. Like, if you want to go, like, hyper-realistic, you want to add, like, you know, certain things, like some anatomical things, like the bump on the nose, you know, the dimples in the nostrils and stuff. But if you don't want to go this route, you just simplify. So, like, you can keep the proportions of a realistic nose, but maybe, you know, shade it a little bit simpler. Depends. You know, maybe add less. Because sometimes some noses are very, very defined. This is a more simplified version. This depends on how you want to do it. Oh, thanks, Brianna. You're new? Awesome. Glad to have you around. If you want, feel free to join our Discord server. We have a lot of people like you who like to draw and create their own OCs and show their drawings. And it's a very friendly community.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to join.
And we ban anybody who is unfriendly and annoying.
Yeah.
And mean. Because we ain't got time for all that.
Toilet Bound Hanako anime has a very baby style, but the manga is the opposite. Oh, that's interesting. You want forward facing? A lot of time I don't really bother with drawing like noses super hyper realistically. I just, for me personally, I show the brow ridge and I show the bottom of the nose. Just like that. I don't bother with what's in the middle because that tends to distract me from the actual face. I'll just imply it, like kind of just do that. If you want to do that. If not, then you might have to look at something else. But I can't necessarily read your mind either. Because when you say nose, I'll be like, okay, well, do you want 3/4? What front facing? But I find that if you over-render the nose, it looks like a punch in the face. Oh, there was that one anime that really put like a huge blush on the nose.
Oh yeah, what was that? Was that
God of High School?
Was that?
Yeah, that was it. It's okay, Jay. Yeah, that's they like really like made the blush like crazy intense, and I'm like, I don't like that very much. I'm very opinionated in certain things. That was something that I didn't really like. I feel like I'm pretty okay with certain styles, but if it's too much, I'm like, okay, yeah, no.
Solo Loving has a pretty pointy chin.
Yeah, very pointy chin. I didn't necessarily like the style of Baki that much. Baki was like, I mean, it's definitely a unique style, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
I think Attack on Titan had a great style.
I think Attack on Titan had a great style, yeah.
Attack on Titan had a pretty sick style, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely very, very interesting. But, like, it also felt very textural and gritty, which I liked.
Yeah. I think it's mostly, like, our background.
Yeah.
Like, we're very influenced by what our background is in.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you'll do a sketch and you know you can kind of save it in the line work? Like
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
do a sketch
yeah.
and the sketch won't look very good, but you're just like, I could save this pretty easily in the line work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening to me.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm sure it is. Just want to say your brush saved my life. Thank you. Awesome, Yuki.
Absolutely.
It's not our brush, but, I mean, I guess it's become kind
I mean,
of...
it did save your life.
It did save your life.
We
so.
got it.
It saved our lives, too.
I don't know what I would do without the brush, bro. What would I even be using now?
Probably a hard round. I'm kidding. I would probably be using a hard round because I didn't know what other brush I could use.
I tend to use the hard round a lot when I'm doing like basic painting demos.
Yeah, me too. Cause I think the hard round is pretty approachable, and can be used in very different ways.
Yeah. I don't at all think that people should only use hard round when they're getting started. I think that's a pretty good, or not a pretty bad myth popularized by certain design schools where it's like you have to do everything with the hard round. You don't use any custom brushes. That was really, really invasive to the school that I went to. All of the students thought you have to use the hard round.
Interesting.
And I honestly think like what about like oil painters? Like they use painting brushes. Like they do dry brushing, they do, scumbling, they do all kinds of stuff. It's like, where did this myth that you have to use a hard round in digital art in the beginning when you're a beginner come from? Because it's not really
I think
grounded in traditional art. It's like there's nothing that's really similar to the basic hard round in traditional art.
I think it's like with the idea of you have to have a special brush if you can only, I would say if you can only work in like the most basic of brushes, then you can, I don't know, work with other kind of brushes.
But
I
it's
guess.
but it's not even like accurate to
Yeah.
real life. Like if you start doing traditional painting, you can get so many different effects with your paintbrush, your singular paintbrush like this, than you could get with just a basic hard round in like Photoshop. And I honestly think it holds a lot of design students, and I think it scares a lot of students into not trying stuff.
Interesting.
I think artists should be much more worried about the power of the color wheel of digital art than what brush they're using.
Yeah, that's true.
It is very interesting.
There's definitely been some artists on our channel, or not channel, on our Discord server where they had a really cute brush, and I'm like, oh, what brush is that? And it looked really fun.
And I think there's another myth out there that only beginner artists talk about brushes or ask about brushes. That's not true at all. In my experience, professionals talk about brushes all the time, bro. Like they get together at dinner and they're just like, all right, guys, what brushes are you using? Because it's fun. Like they all know they have a baseline level of foundation in art. And so they just trade brushes all the time. Like, bro,
Trade
really
brushes,
good
it's
digital painters have massive brush sets. Massive brush sets. And they love experimenting and making brushes. But of course, the brush isn't going to make you a good artist. It's like race car drivers coming together and talking about cars. It's like, obviously they know that car doesn't make you a good driver, but all they do is talk about race cars. Bro, it's like, bro, I love cars so much. Let's talk about them all the time. I don't know where that myth started.
Don't like this mouth.
There's so much like elitism in art schools, like design schools, and like, oh, XYZ used this tool in his assignment that he wasn't allowed to use. There's so much
Cheating.
nonsense. But like overall, I think certain design schools are really, really good. Like you can learn a lot from them. It was really bad in FZD. But FZD was great. It was a good school.
Yeah. Whatever. This ended up not turning out very good. These angles are very difficult because like certain overlaps are hard to make look right, and my brain is going like, what's the most familiar head angle or nose angle or mouth angle am I gonna draw? I'm gonna draw that instead of going to
If
perspective.
only we had
A reference. Yes, we do.
If only we had something like this
You
that we could do this with.
know, that's true. Why didn't I even think of that?
We literally have a whole set of them in front of us.
I literally have totally forgotten about this model. You have saved my life. Alright.
And then there's also this myth that like you have to be able to draw everything without reference in order to be like a good artist or whatever. Like,
Not
are you
true.
kidding me? Like, look at all the greatest artists throughout history, dude. They use so much reference. They took their own photos. Look at like Norman Rockwell. He would have his painter friends dress up in different costumes, and he would basically like paint them from life practically. He would like design the shapes that he was looking at. But like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the art industry is really weird in certain ways.
Well, it's like they're trying to determine what is real art, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of elitism. Do you guys sell those heads? Not yet, but we're going to.
Yep.
Can you download this brush you are using? Yes. You can get it on drawanime.com or you can get it in the Discord server. It's completely free. Like, I think it's really good to do exercises where you learn to draw without references, but at the end of the day, it's more of an exercise, like a practice assignment.
Bro, I remember when I was in a art community, I got bullied for using reference. Or the idea of like, oh, well, you use reference, you must be cheating. And I was like, bro, what? I don't understand that. But, you know, it's just, people don't understand. And then they start making rules that are very arbitrary.
It's like tribalism.
It is like tribalism. And some people will like, they'll just say a rule as if like it's the truth, but they really don't even know what they're talking about. That's very dangerous, you know. And so that's why we have actually had some people who ask like, oh, is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do that? I'm just like, who told you that it wasn't okay? Who told you that it wasn't okay to use reference? I don't understand that. They don't know what they're talking about, and you know that has to do with even like art teachers. Like they don't a lot of them don't even know what they're talking about either. So I just think very interesting. It's like with art, it's so people have very differing opinions on what is good art or real art. And, yeah. Not using references feels like a divorce. That's funny. What are y'all streaming schedules? So we stream Mondays and Fridays at around 5 p.m. Pacific. Sometimes we'll kind of stream in between, like either on Wednesdays or Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on our mood. But yeah, that's our streaming schedule. I would say our usual streaming schedule is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but we have a class coming up on Wednesdays that takes us up all our time, so these days it's Mondays and Fridays. I'm scared to go to art school. I would be so judged. You know, depends on the art school, I think.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the
there's
person.
a lot of people who go to art school and get judged and they don't care at all and
Yeah.
they graduate and they're amazing artists.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who go to art school and get a great friend group and they don't get judged at all. And like there's so many like shades of what that could turn into. I would say be careful living your life out of fear.
Yeah.
You'll find that a lot of the time you won't end up pursuing anything you enjoy because it's just fear is like the main motivating factor in life. I'm not saying that's happening, just be aware of that. If the first thing, if you want to do something and the first thing that comes to your mind is like a fear thought, just kind of be aware of that happening.
Yeah. Gosh, I need a new tablet. I'm so low on space. Oh. Start deleting. I don't know. Oh, that's cute.
That is cute. What the heck? It's like a Tira.
Mm-hmm. Mickey Tira. How long does the art class take to do to get pretty good?
Not sure what you mean.
Which art class are you talking about?
Can I learn to draw digitally and not with pencil and paper? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, drawing is drawing. Most people get started in pencil and paper because that's just what they have to start with. Yours?
Oh,
I
art
mean,
school?
people improve at different rates,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll absolutely improve if you do those. If you go through the lessons and you do the assignments and the homework, I can guarantee you'll get better. I can't tell you how much you'll get better because that's up to an individual. But if you went through the whole school and did all the assignments and did all the homework to the best of your ability, you would 100% look at your work afterwards and be like, "Holy crap, I got so much better."
Yeah.
It's physiologically impossible to draw that many hundreds of hours and not get better. It's just it doesn't work like that. Like you will get better, but I can't tell you how much. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. So yes, we do offer our classes. Our classes is Anime Art School, which is a program that is combining 7 different classes teaching the fundamentals of art. You can find it on our website. It is the yellow button on this website. And yeah, we basically take you through the fundamentals. So as Colton said earlier, I don't know how long it will take for you to get pretty good, and I don't really know what pretty good means in your definition.
Yeah.
Because pretty good can be like, oh, pretty good can, like, for us, pretty good means, oh, like you're hireable at very like good studios.
I mean, everybody, it's a subjective thing.
It's a
What
very
is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
What is pretty good?
Do you mean like pretty good, like, oh, you can draw most
and
things?
I don't even really want to know like what pretty good means because it changes so much, and as you grow as an artist, your pretty good will change.
Yes, exactly.
But do you teach how to use Procreate? Yes, there is
Yes.
actually a class that teaches the basics of Procreate that is thrown in there as well. It's like a bonus class. It's not part of the core classes. It's just like an extra.
Yep.
I mean, at least with the Chibi class I got, I feel much more confident with a few months' time. That's great.
Oh, that's good.
I really like to hear that.
Yeah. It just depends on how much you practice and how much effort you put into your assignments. So like, for me, you know, we took a bunch of classes and we took a bunch of like anatomy classes, and doing all the homework, spending hours on it is what gets you good, and understanding what the assignments do for you, it will help a lot. Daily. I love trying new posts now. That's awesome. That is great. Would you recommend a tablet? I've only done traditional art and I don't know how to start. There's a lot of pretty inexpensive tablets out there. Some brands are like Huion and XP Pen. Those run pretty cheap for what is kind of like common in the market. Like the most expensive ones are from Wacom, but those are also very common
I
drawing
don't know
tablets
if
to
they're
use.
the most expensive, but
Oh,
they
are
are
they?
pretty expensive.
They are pretty expensive. These ones, like, I would say like a $300 tablet is pretty cheap.
I mean, it
Is it?
depends. Is it if you're getting an Intuos, it's not. If you're getting
Right.
a display tablet with a screen, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah. So we actually got an XP Pen, right?
Yeah, but I haven't tried it.
We haven't tried it yet, and
We
but it was
haven't opened
it ran pretty cheap for like a screen tablet like this. This is an iPad Pro, which is pretty expensive. But I would say try some of these brands and look at the pricing. I would say the cheapest one that you can get is like a drawing tablet that's like small and doesn't have a screen. You have to like connect it to a computer, and you draw on it, and that will kind of act as like your mouse for your screen. Those are generally the cheaper kinds.
Which, by the way, a lot of professionals use them.
Yes, they do.
Plenty of professionals.
May I ask what brush you use? You can get this brush on drawyanime.com. It is the green button that says digital brush, and you can download it for free. I don't know if the XP Pen 13.3 version 2 is good, but I never used it.
I never used it.
I would say find reviews. That's probably the easiest way to find if it's good or not.
That would be a great question for Google.
Yes, not us. I have one of those. It was like $20. Oh, really? That's crazy. I just draw, bro. I don't really pay attention to all like who supports what. I just draw and I just use the tools. But if that prevents you from getting a tablet from a certain brand, that's totally fine. I don't really care.
Yeah, do what you
want.
feel is best.
Mm-hmm.
My tablet from Wacom is a lot older than AI.
Yeah.
They're getting really expensive too.
Yeah.
I might switch to something else.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice, honestly. I gotta take a bathroom break. Man's name Christian Colton. You're pretty close. Actually, the third one is perfect. Yep.
Yup.
Colton. You got it right.
Maybe we'll wrap up soon.
Sure. Gotta have dinner.
Yeah, a couple minutes. New to this, do the classes cost money? Yes. And what level do you start on? They're foundation classes, so they're good for anybody. They're good, really good for anybody. I mean, beginners, intermediates, everybody needs foundation, you know? So like perspective, anatomy, figure drawing, a lot of professionals even still take those kind of classes. But if you're an absolute beginner and you go to like a design school or a drawing school, you'd pretty much take those classes as well. Art Foundation is Art Foundation no matter what level you're at. It's not like a super high level mentorship for people who are already professionals, I'll tell you that. So like if you have spent the last 10 years working professionally as like an illustrator for book covers or a concept artist, you're probably above, you probably know this stuff. But if you have never gotten work professionally before and you don't make a living as an artist, it'd probably be pretty good for you. It's kind of like a college. There's 3 terms, and it's a foundation school. So, how often are the classes? They are self-paced, so you get the classes, you own them forever, and you can go through them at your own pace. But they're structured like a college. So, for people who are serious and they want to go and kind of get an education, you can go through at the recommended pace, although it's a 1-year program.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips for commission pricing? Yep, price it as high as you want, and if nobody buys it, I guess you could lower it a little bit, or just sell harder. It so depends. I think
it just depends. It depends how big your market is. It depends how many people are out there who want what you do. If nobody buys it, it may not even be that your prices are too high or whatever. Maybe you're just not reaching the right people. You really have to experiment a lot.
Go. Hey, Michi, perspective tips. What kind of perspective do you want to learn? We might be wrapping up soon, so I don't know if we'll do it like super in depth. Huh?
I don't understand that. How does it feel to live my dream? Perspective tips? I'm not sure what you mean.
Unless I thought they meant like perspective.
What am I working on? I'm just doing some little costume doodles studies. I heard a new word recently. You know what I'm gonna say.
I know what you're gonna say.
So I was looking. You know how everybody's always like, oh, a sketch. Oh, this
Quick
is a
sketch.
sketch, and people are like, what? That's a sketch? I heard of something even lazier than a sketch, a scribble. People are like, I work. Oh, here's a scribble. So, oh, you sketch? I only scribble.
And it's like an ego thing.
And it's even better than your sketch. It's all ego nonsense.
Ah, that's funny. Where did
But
you see that?
I heard it somewhere, just on. And the funny thing is, it was a really good artist too.
Oh,
like,
okay.
super good. But he was like, oh, a scribble with some leftover paint. That's literally like the most ego statement like I've ever heard. I don't care what artist that is. Like
Yeah.
maybe they're really good and like they are super good. They're a lot better than me. But I looked at that and I was just like, bro, they are farming like, they are farming. Ooh, ah.
Ooh, Oz. Ooh, they're farming the oohs and ahs.
What drawing gear are we working with? This is just an iPad Pro. I'm hoping I can get fully into art all around, but I'm going to be veterinarian school soon. Oh, that's awesome.
Wow,
Congrats.
awesome.
Look at my scribble, the ego boosting. Scribble. Doodle is a good one.
Doodle's a good
I think the
one.
hierarchy is like,
Doodle?
it's like drawing, sketch, below it.
Quick sketch.
Yeah, then there's like
Quick-
quick sketch. Below it might be like doodle.
Yep.
And then below that is like scribble.
Yep. The most ego one. I don't know.
And so it's like, there's like drawing and then there's like, what else? Like, I love it when I see people and they're just like, bro, I worked so hard on this.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, yeah.
Well, they don't want to show that they actually put in a lot of effort because they want to do things effortlessly, right? That's the whole point of saying those things. Yeah, I know.
Like, how much do you want to cheer someone on who is like, oh, this is a scribble that I did for fun with some random broken pencil I found on the sidewalk? Or if someone's just like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard on this piece. Like,
You know
I
what that
really
reminded me
wanted
of?
this to turn out well. I cried 4 different times while I drew this.
You know what's interesting? There's a horse, like, so Japanese horse racing is a thing. And there's a horse that never won and it lost 13 races all the time, but it became the most popular horse because it just never gave up and it just kept trying really, really hard. And so that reminds me of that. That's why I wanted to watch Uma Musume because it's based off of that.
Interesting. Do you guys have Instagram accounts where you post your art? We do have Instagrams, but I don't think I've ever made a post on it.
I never made a post on it either. I haven't made anything that I want to post yet.
I have an art station. That's like my professional portfolio, and I have a website. But other than that, not really. I have my portfolio for professional work online on my website and on my art station. But other than that, I don't post on Instagram or any other social media. Because you guys cover Ruffles, if it isn't too late. Ruffles is fun.
Ruffles is fun. Draw a squiggle in whatever direction you want. Actually, no, you know what? I'm not gonna do it like that. Ruffles are basically just a bunch of pipe folds. It's basically just a bunch of this goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. That's a ruffle. This is facing downward, by the way, but if you want to face it up, where you're looking down at it, you just connect. upwards.
Holmes' art portfolio profile picture is so cute. Is that the Minky one?
No, it's probably our wedding.
Art portfolio profile.
You mean
picture.
the art
Is that-
station?
Oh, our wedding picture. Yeah, that one is pretty nice. The wedding one, yeah.
If people like the wedding one, they think it's cute.
It is.
So there's a ruffle. Sorry, it's kind of rough, but
Ruffle. Ooh, there's also like a rough sketch.
Oh yeah, rough sketch.
Drawing.
So yeah, what I do is I'll just like find the flow of the ruffle, and then I'll decide, okay, do I want it facing up or do I want it facing down? If I want it facing down, it's actually easier. You just make sure that your ruffles kind of go along the grain or go along the flow.
Is
And
this
then,
how I find out you're married, OMG?
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are married?
Yes, we've been
Yes.
married for over 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Jay, are you the Jay that I talked to, or are you a different Jay?
What Jay? What?
The person that I talked to on the call.
Oh, okay.
And stars, hello.
And then the ruffles generally like to get wider at the bottom, and then they like to get narrower at the top. So that's how you draw a ruffle.
Different Jay? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That's a scribble in my perspective. It's funny. Rough sketch. What's the name of the Baba Boss song? It helps me concentrate.
Oh, Vacation Mode.
Vacation Mode.
By, who the heck? Who made Vacation Mode? Was that Rocket Jr.? Vacation Mode by Rocket Jr. Ba, ba, ba.
It's a cute chibi style. I really enjoyed making that chibi class, you know? It's super cute.
I
That's
hear some
fine.
little goblins eating in the next room.
Maybe we'll wrap up in about 10 minutes. At
Yeah.
8.
Sure. If you like the fact that we're married and you thought that was cute, wait till you hear we have 3 kitties. Nobody's in here with us.
No!
Oh, Poppy's behind us,
Hey, Poppy.
ripping out her hair.
Hey, Poppy, don't rip out your hair. What you doing, kitty? Did you want attention? Here's kitty number 1.
Here's Kitty.
Oh, she wants to get off.
She's like, excuse me, I was in the middle of a hair ripping.
Mm-hmm.
Silly kitty.
Why do you rip out your hair? You're like, do you have just a bad habit or something?
We can't let Toby get it because he eats her hair. Look at this. Bad kitty.
Well, at least it's only a few clumps, but
Well, she just started.
yeah. I used to struggle with ruffles, and then I stopped caring about it, and they became better. Yeah, honestly, ruffles are pretty free flowing. Like you can kind of do a lot with it, and sometimes just the randomness actually makes it look better because it's more like unique looking rather than super sterile. Anime noses front view. There's multiple ways that you can style it. Some noses will just look like this. This is the side of your nose, but they just show it like a little D shape or something. And then there's also this kind. Good girl, kitty. And then there's also just a little dot with a little triangle on the top. This is just to show the top of the nose. Then there's this kind, which is more defined. So that's just multiple ways that you can show the front of the nose. Some will also do this, where it's just showing the bottom of the nose and then it leaves everything really simple, totally fine. And they'll simply draw a little diamond for the top of the nose. So there's a few kinds. Guys, why am I just finding out you're married? I loved you two for years. Aw, thanks.
Who?
This person. I can't really tell what their username is, but
Oh, really? That's great, thank you. I hope that's good. Sounds good.
any tips on finding your art style? Your art style will find you generally. If you're like really
Yeah.
worried about that. I know that if you find styles that you like, you know, it depends on what you like and also what you're inspired by. And the more you draw that specific thing, you know, your style will kind of gradually appear. And also, you know, specific artists that you like. If you want your style to look like a certain way, like a certain artist, you know, you can study their art. But just know that even if you copy it one to one, it's not even going to look the same as a specific artist, you're gonna still have your own flavor to it. So yeah. Maybe I'll give her a braid. But for me, like the way how I found this style was I wanted to there were definitely a few artists that I really liked, and I wanted my style to have that quality, but I didn't want it to be exactly like a specific artist. But I really liked how they broke down certain things, and then I just studied their style, and then I incorporated it into my own. Some of it could include coloring style, some of it could include the way they draw eyes. But I can't really say that my art looks like a specific person's style because I still have my own decisions that I make. So it's still very different.
I would like to say on the subject of style, a lot of the time what beginners Toby,
most likely,
I'm
yep.
speaking. A lot of the time what beginners think is style is actually just good foundational skills.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding about that. A lot of the time what beginners think is style is just good skills. What are you doing? Now where are you going? Whatever. He's like, pick me up, meow, meow. What's that? I need to go in the other room. Yeah, people will think, oh, I love that person's style, but it's really just that their perspective is correct.
Yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, I love that person's style, but it's really just that their forms are good.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I love that person's style. It's really just that their color theory, they're trained in color theory, or their value grouping is good. And like a style is kind of like a way to implement those things. Like people be like, oh my gosh, I love that style. And it's like, it's just a trained artist. Like
Yeah.
it's really like they have a style, but that style, if it had poor foundation, like you wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Focus on foundation and let your style emerge just based on what you enjoy drawing is my biggest advice. It's people spend a lot of time thinking about style,
It's really just paint on the house instead of the actual foundation.
and it's not that style doesn't matter at all, like it does, but it's like you want to spend like 98% of your time thinking about foundation and learning foundation, and then like 2% of your time going, what do I want? Because style emerges on its own.
Yeah.
Based on what you just simply enjoy drawing. Like you cannot prevent yourself from getting a style. Now who? Toby? Or are you back?
I think I see some movement behind the green screen too.
It's probably Applejack.
Yeah. Hey Snaz, speaking of color theory, any tips on how to learn it? How to learn it.
Color theory, the most important thing to understand about color theory is that an image looks good because its values work, not its colors.
Yeah.
Now, color theory, assuming your values are good, is mostly up to you. I would say do something simple. Think in terms of warm and cool. Like, do I have a warm light? Do I have a cool light? Are my shadows warm? Are my shadows cold? And play with color within a specific like area of the color wheel. So for example, this is like a watercolor piece that I did yesterday on a stream, right? And so you can see inside of the green grass, I'm playing with yellows and greens. Inside of the shadow, I'm playing with blues and bluish greens. And then in the rock, I'm playing with like colors within a certain temperature range as well. And you can have stuff like this where like you start warm and you move cooler as you go into the distance. What is all this? Anything over there? Not really.
Nah, not really. It's just how to apply the color.
But yeah. Oh, I don't want to hide that under there. I'll lose my stuff. Color theory is like understand what warm and cool colors are and just experiment and play with stuff. experiment with like wiggling your color around, like a little bit bluer, a little bit greener. Play with shapes of areas of color.
Does have any hair drawing tips? We have some on our TikToks, but we also have a video on it.
And one of the best ways to learn color theory, is doing study artists. Still lifes are really good too. I did a still life the other day. Where's my phone? It's under here. I did a still life the other day. Do I have it on my phone? I don't think I do. Here it is. So I did a little still life the other day here.
Lovely.
And you can see that like the first thing I did was that top left image. All I did was just go what's light and what's dark. The second thing I did was I expanded the value range right here. And I went, okay, now that I've established my lights and my darks, where are my darks? And all I've done is like add basically one or two more value steps to it. And then all I did was add color to the shapes that I've already established. And I just play with like warm and cool temperatures within that. It's all shape. It's all shape design and composition. Just a bunch of colors thrown together. It generally doesn't look that pretty. It's like the unity of what shapes you're using those colors inside of, what values you have going on. And it's funny because like we're taking an oil painting class by this guy. He's so good, and he's almost always just talking about composition and simplification of like your groups of value, right? Like simplifying your entire artwork into just a couple of islands of value. And then you fill those with like the temperature, the colors and temperatures of your choices, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Any tips for drawing face guidelines?
Learn proportion.
Learn proportion. Learn where the eyes and the nose and the mouth are placed in relationship to each other and stuff, and that will help you with drawing the guidelines. Alright, well, it's been about 10 minutes.
Has it?
Yep. If you want to wrap up now, we can.
Yeah, we can wrap up.
Sure. I would say if you're going to do guidelines and stuff, just find a facial proportion that works for you and then just keep doing that over and over. And then you will gradually be able to draw faces with good proportion. So yeah. We don't necessarily have like immediate tips on grayscale, like values.
Tips on grayscale. You mean like, well, grayscale would tend to be like value grouping, I would say, is probably the biggest one. Like grayscale, make sure you're separating your lights and your darks. Like decide what is light and what is dark, and group as much as possible. Simplify, simplify, simplify. That would be my number one tip for grayscale, unless you're talking about rendering in like black and white and grayscale, in which case I would say study lighting, how light falls across forms, light and shadow. But like generally you're gonna get lights and you're gonna get darks, and you want to pretty much keep those isolated, keep those separated.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see what I was showing earlier. This is the beginning of the painting. All I have done is figure out what is in the light and what is in the dark. And now all I have done is I've kept the light and the dark. This is in grayscale. And I've simply added a little bit more information. I've added my darks. But you can see that like the only difference between this and this is my lights and my darks are still the same. I've just added a little bit more darks into the darks. And then keeping that, you can turn this into a full color piece. And I've kept my lights and darks. You can see my lights are still light, my darks are still dark, and I've kept those simplified.
Hey,
Hey!
no playing under there.
Ripping apart our green screen. It's literally that. Like, value grouping is so incredibly important. That's design. Focusing on, designing stuff. There. I like that one.
I think that looks
Kinda
very
fun.
nice. Is that Abby? Or is that a different character?
Just random.
Oh, she's cute.
There. There's
Ooh,
a trench coat study.
so pretty.
I like that one. don't
I
like the
really
other
like
ones
that
as
one.
much.
That one's nice too, though. But
That one's
nice.
the first one. But I kind of like how this trench coat turned out.
I really like.
I need
that.
to do more studies of clothing.
Good night,
Yeah.
stars.
We're gonna be heading off here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you everybody for
Yo.
showing up and hanging out. And what is tomorrow? Wednesday? Is today Thursday? No, tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow is Friday.
So yeah,
Holy crap.
we'll be hanging out tomorrow on Friday as well. Maybe we'll do some OC drawing or something.
Yeah.
But thank you for showing up. And yeah, we will see you next time.
Yep.
They're really at it tonight, huh?
Yeah, they sure are.
Bye bye everybody.
Bye.
See ya.